Over the past 24 hours, a group of civilians was evacuated from the territory of the Azovstal plant. Both sides adhere to a regime of silence. This was announced by the head of the Sluha Narodu, Servant of the People, political party faction, David Arachamia, and the Minister for Reintegration of the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine, Irina Vereshchuk. For the first time since the beginning of the war, since the beginning of the blockade of Azovstal, we have managed to evacuate more than 100 civilians. These are small children, women, and the elderly. The special operation was joined by the leadership of the United Nations, the International Committee of the Red Cross, the Defense Intelligence of the Minister of Defense, and the Office of the President. The next stage of the operation is, of course, to take everyone else out. There are still a lot of people left, they have a lot of problems. This was the first ceasefire over Azovstal. Immediately after the evacuation of civilians from Azovstal, the Russian military opened fire on the plant with all kinds of weapons. This was announced by the commander of the 12th Operational Brigade of the National Guard, Denis Shlyha. The head of Luhansk Regional Military Administration said that the missing driver of the evacuation bus, who came under fire from a sabotage reconnaissance group on April the 29th, was in Russian captivity. Mikhailo Pankov was found after 2 days. The Russians recorded a propaganda interview with him and showed it on the Central TV channel. The occupiers forced him to say that the Ukrainian authorities are not engaged in the evacuation of people, that we abandon our people, Serhiy Gaidai wrote in his Telegram channel. He also warned that Russians could use a stolen school bus to provoke. The Russian military shells Luhansk region every day. For the past 24 hours, the destruction of 28 houses has been officially recorded, said the head of the Luhansk Regional Military Administration. In Lysychansk, an old building of multidisciplinary gymnasium, which is part of the Belgian heritage of the city, burned down. Serhiy Gaidai also said that 3 people were killed and 3 were injured in the region yesterday, including a child born in 2010. As a result of the shelling of Orikhovo civilian infrastructure last night, 2 people were killed and 4 were injured, the press service of the Zaporizhia Regional Military Administration reported. The occupiers hit high-rise buildings. As a result of enemy shelling, 4 people were taken to hospital with injuries of varying severity. 2 more men died of shrapnel wounds. Residents say the explosions in Orikhovo are heard almost around the clock. Dozens of houses in the city were destroyed and damaged as a result of shelling by the Russian military.
The household was struck by debris. People's, neighbors, my grandmother's windows were blown out. There were explosions, rocket flew at the gardens.
Last night, Synelnykove district came under enemy fire several times. According to the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration, Valentin Reznichenko, one of the missiles hit 2 warehouses of the agricultural enterprise. Both were destroyed. One of them stocked up grain. Another rocket hit a private yard. 1 person was injured. The Russian military exported several 100,000 tons of grain from Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson and Zaporizhia regions. Dozens of grain trucks from the occupied settlements go to the Crimea every day. Reports of Russian looting of equipment, hangars and elevators have come from local farmers. This was stated by First Deputy Minister of Agrarian Policy and Food Taras Vysotsky. Grain remained approximately as much as needed for consumption by Ukrainians who remained there. Strategic and additional reserves were not formed in these areas. They were formed in other regions that are now controlled by Ukraine. Therefore, first of all, we are talking about genocide. When they export the products that remain there for domestic consumption until the new harvest by Ukrainians, it should be understood that, above all, the Russians are creating a genocide of people who live there and are causing a significant damage to Ukraine's economy. Verkhovna Rada Commissioner for Human Rights Lyudmila Denisova noted that the occupiers want to repeat the Holodomor not only in Ukraine, but also to cause hunger in the world, because Ukraine is one of the largest exporters of wheat. Over the past 24 hours, the Russian army has been shelling Kharkiv region again. Oleg Synelnykove, the head of the regional military administration, said that 3 people had been killed and 8 injured in the shelling. Artillery shells in the Bohodukhiv district damaged the car with people inside. 1 woman died on the spot. In Zolochev, a man died from a direct hit to the house. 4 private apartments were destroyed, 6 were damaged. Humanitarian aid was delivered to the village of Kutuzivka, which was liberated by the Ukrainian army on April the 28th. Locals described how the occupiers destroyed houses and looted them. According to the head of Kharkiv Regional Military Administration, Oleg Synelnykove, about 100 people were in the occupation for 2 months.
We don't have gas now, there's no light, there's no water. We took it from the well. There was nothing to eat. We all survived as we could.
Some people evacuated on their own after the liberation of the village, and those who did not have such an opportunity were helped to move to safer places. We took the people out by buses or with military men. We also took out those who hadn't left yet and those who couldn't do that themselves. Everything is bombed. There are many dead.
We are all together. We love our Ukraine. We lived with the belief that the Ukrainian military would come soon. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to heroes.